What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Banconator Zone for a live show, which actually previously um, was gonna be a preview, but I recorded the preview and let me see, and the preview will drop tomorrow. However, I do want to talk quickly on what Allegri had to say on his future, and funnily enough, a good 5 hours later, his agent talking in, I don't know, riddles, very strange comments from his agent, because the last time Allegri's agent spoke is extremely long. And I'm not saying he needs to speak every week, but the way he spoke and what he had to say was kind of significant, in my opinion. So that's what we're going to talk in this video. You can call in, you can click the link in the chat, and you can call in if you want, and I will bring you on. Uh, but yeah, let's go into what his agent had to speak. First one, what Allegri had to say, because he had this presser for the Napoli game. I'm not going to talk about that. That's for the other video. However, he was asked about his future, and he said basically, with a lot of words, he basically said that I have a 1 year deal, and I'm not focusing on that. And if the club made a decision, basically, or if the club has anything to tell me, they will tell me when it's due time. Basically, that's what he that was what he basically had to say, and that sounded like if the club wants me out, then he can basically tell me, or they can tell me, and I will I will probably leave if that makes any sense. He's basically saying like if the club wants me out, they're gonna need to tell me, hey, you need to leave, and then um, maybe I will leave. Excuse me, I was reading the comments, because he made it very clear that it's not coming from him. Like, he's waiting on the club to tell him, hey, Allegri, thanks for the last, I don't know, 2 years or 3 years, excuse me, but we think it's time to move on, blah blah blah, all those things, and okay, then he will probably make a decision. But he's not going to the club and ask to leave. He wants that first step to come from the club, which makes a lot of sense, and I think it's only logical that the club takes the first step in making a decision and telling them, you need to leave, or we want to go into a different direction. That wasn't the surprising part, because I think that was just a very standard answer, I think. But it was very ironic. I don't know if it was planned or whatever, that his agent came out like 5 hours later, maybe less, because I cannot recall, like I said early on, his agent speaking much to the media, especially not mid-season. Usually you don't hear from the agent of a coach. I cannot recall hearing from an agent, a coach's agent talking, and maybe because it doesn't happen often, but I cannot recall agents from coaches speaking, and especially mid-season, when they know, okay, the coach Allegri's not going to get sacked mid-season, but still, they speak to the media, and he had quite a lot of things to say, but he said it in a way that, in my opinion, it felt nervous, and it felt like a slight dig towards the club, and but I'm gonna say basically telling the club, hey, he has 1 year left. If you guys want to make a decision, you tell me. And he pictured that in a way that's suggesting that th- trying to make the club look like the bad guys here. Excuse me, because what he had to say, and you guys already read it because it's on the screen. He said, I think he will stay at Juve also next season. And then he went on saying, we will see what Juve has in mind, but with this ownership, anything can happen. That I found strange. And then he said he has a contract and has demonstrated his bond with the club. Typically, a coach is changed when there is dissatisfaction, and I want to see how they could be dissatisfied. Now, that last part, to me, when I read that, I was like, that's a slight dig to the club, and that's actually also telling the club, okay, if you're not happy, then tell us, why are you not happy? What is there, or like what has Allegri not achieved for you guys to say, hey, you've done a terrible job. We actually need to move on from you. That was what that quote is saying. So it's not like when I said I think he's gonna leave and they will find a decision or they find an agreement. I think I'm very wrong in that because it feels very hostile. It feels like they're very nervous, and I feel like they're very aware that, unlike last season, his future is not certain. Also, leaks from good sources are saying that the club already spoke with Thiago Motta's agent, to see does he want to leave, does he want to leave Motta, does he want to leave Bologna? Is he open to leave Bologna? Because if we make a decision, we need to know kind of like, is Motta open to that option? Because if so, then we are a step ahead of the curve, competition, but also in decision making. But that last part, like I said, is putting pressure on the club. It's basically telling the club, okay, if you want Allegri out, then tell us what has he not achieved that he should be achieving. And that's the argument out there. Because a lot of people are saying, and he was not going to win the title with this team, so he got the max out of it. So what else do you want? That's basically what his agent is saying. Like, what? Like, you set top 4 for the goal as a goal. He's reaching that every single season. So why are you done? Are you not satisfied with it? Why do you want him to actually leave the club? And why are you not basically coming out and leaking it, saying it, whatever you want to call it? It's actually not. There are no real leaks that the club is 100% convinced that, what, we're going to sack Allegri. We're going to move on from Allegri at the end of the season. But that quote was very strange. That last part from the quote was very strange because he was basically saying, hey, I don't know what the club actually wants. Like, usually a coach gets sacked if they're not happy anymore. However, he said, I actually want to see why. Why is the club not happy with Allegri? You, club, tell me. Tell me why you're not happy with Allegri, and basically tell the world why you're not happy with Allegri, and let us know, or let the world know, that you guys want to move him out. Now, I found that strange in 2 ways. One, because I don't know, like, you don't say that, in my opinion, if there is a 100% good relationship. And with good relationship, I don't mean like they hate each other but in terms of knowing and feeling that it's not 100% certain that the club is convinced by you. That's one. And two, that's also kind of protecting your coach or your employee, basically saying, hey, we have a 1 year deal. If you guys want to make a decision, you make that decision. We're sitting here, you come to us, and we will handle that with due time, basically. But mid-season, again, I cannot recall an agent mid-season talking about coaching and all those things. What I also find strange is that this quote comes from a place that, like, this quote would make a lot more sense if, I'm gonna say, 75% of the fan base was saying we want Allegri to stay, but the club was like, no, we want Allegri to leave. Then this quote makes a lot of sense. Then you're basically putting the fans even more so against the club. However, I think it's a flip side. Most of the fan base are like, okay, we need a change. We want something else from Allegri. Then this quote feels very weird because it doesn't make a lot of sense. It makes more sense if everybody was fighting against the club because the club wants to get rid of Allegri. But it's kind of the flip side. So this quote makes very weird. Like, it's very strange. And Onolifon is saying the club is not obligated to tell a reason, like in every company in the world. Yeah, like, but the reason will come out. It's a football club, media. The reason will come out. Why the club is not happy with Allegri, or why they're happy with Allegri and give him a new deal. That reason will come out. But I see your point. The club is not obligated to tell anyone this is a reason why he gets sacked. But considering it's sport, the reason will always come out, and we will hear it's because he's not getting along with the players, Sadi, basically. Or like Pirlo, they're not happy the way they reach top 4. The reason will always come out. And people, you can call in if you want. The link is open, and the link is in the chat, so you can click that. And I can bring you on. Just your voice, no camera. You don't need to put on your camera. But I see that point. Like, you don't need to give a reason, but I think the reason is very obvious. If you move on from Allegri, and his agent can say, why are you not happy? We're reaching top four. You're not winning with this team. He's not winning. So you cannot really hold that against them. However, I think if the club is actually, and it's come from good sources, already talking about potentially Thiago Motta's availability to coach Juve, that tells me they're not 100% satisfied with that as well. That tells me that the club is like, okay, the goal was not winning the title. We get that. However, the way things are moving and shaping, it doesn't sit like it doesn't feel right. Like something feels off. It really feels off. It really does, in my opinion. And I can be completely wrong because last season I had a feeling like, okay, he's gonna walk because I don't think he wants to be part of off the field stuff and all those things. But this season, I feel he doesn't want to be on because the future of the club is going into something in a completely different direction. Hello, can you hear me? I think you're on mute because I cannot hear you. So you need to check that. Um, can you hear me? Hello? I can hear you, but not good. Like it's like you're whispering. You need to check that. Um, but I think this season it feels differently because let me see. Maybe it's just me. Can you hear me? Whoever is calling in, can you hear me? I can. Okay, I can hear you. What's your name? Guillermo. Wait, I will bring you on the stream really quickly. Okay, everybody can hear you now, so be careful. Um, did you read the quote? Did you see the quote I had on earlier on in the stream?
No, to be honest with you, I haven't.
Okay,
However, I've been, yeah,
I will read it out. So it was Allegri's agent spoke today, and he talked about his future, and he said a few things. He said, I think he will stay basically, but you never know with this ownership, which I found very strange. And then he also said that he has a contract and he showed that he has a very big bond with the club, a good bond with the club. And then he added that typically a coach gets sacked or moved if the club is not really happy with him. And then he ended it with saying, I actually am very curious, or I want to see or hear why the club shouldn't be happy with Allegri. Now, I think that's kind of an attack on the club, or that's basically saying, okay, you tell everybody, you tell the world why you're not happy with Allegri. And I found that very strange mid-season because usually, in my opinion, I cannot recall an agent from a coach talking mid-season and talking in this way. So, what do you make of the entire situation, basically?
yeah. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the space. I would like to say that I'm part of Bianconeri's zone in Spanish.
Yeah, I know. Now I
So
know. Now I can. Now I know why I know. I thought I remember you, and I was like, I'm not sure why, where from, but I know. Now I know. So welcome.
yeah, well, thank you very much for everything that you do, and yeah, Allegri, I believe it's a very non-common character because it has divided Juventini. But to be honest with you, in regards to the to what his agent just said, what can he say about it? I mean, he's not gonna speak bad about him, and I don't really, I don't think. I'm sorry for the English. It's just not
No,
my
it's okay.
native language, but yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, it is a topic that everybody is very tired about it. I believe that the people that is pro Allegri won't change their mind, and everybody that is against the against what Allegri is doing right now, we won't change our minds. And is but what I would really like to discuss is that Allegri has divided us in such a way that I haven't seen this before. And you know, Juventus history um has been very hard. I mean, we've been through very tough moments in our history. However, this a person has divided us in such a very uh, bad way that I can't recall the last time that I see this in our history.
I I I agree. You know, I was thinking about that a couple of days ago. I was like, it feels very toxic, you know, and we're all part of it. Even if you don't want to be toxic, you're all part of it because you pick a side. Like you want to change, or you do not want to change. You blame it more on Allegri, or you blame it more on the players. Like you're part of a very toxic situation. You know, online, offline, whatever you want to call it. Just it feels very negative. You know, and I think yeah, everybody's tired to talk about it, but we talk about it so much because the season is kind of it's not done, but it's like just get it over with. You know, that's the moment we're in. So that's what you're gonna talk about naturally. Because even today in his
Yes,
presser, he said it's an exciting time now. It's not really like nobody is like the last couple of months. Everybody's looking at it. Not oh, this is gonna be great. Everybody's looking at it. And it's like get it over with because we want to see what the club is gonna do at the end of the season, basically.
yes, and don't get me wrong. I mean, we in Bianconeri zone in Spanish, we talk about Allegri all the time. I mean, I get it. I get it. I mean, and there's no way around it. There's no way around it because and he is doing things that some people, for some reason, find it helpful for the team, and some people just see the other way. So yeah, I get the point. I totally get the point. I mean, there's basically no way around it. As I just said, uh, is very frustrating. It's very frustrating because, as I was saying, I haven't seen that before in our history. I mean, at least recent history. But yeah, as many people, I believe, I will dare to say that over 90% of Juventini would like to see a new chapter in Juventus because I mean even winning you get the feeling, you get the sense that things are not right. And and I really, as a Juventini, need to stop feeling that.
I you know the last 2 or 3 years, whatever you want to call it, like I think you know what I also think the problem is. I think the media is, or like, and even his agent is saying, "Hey, this team was never gonna win, so he's doing a good job." And I think everybody agrees that this team is not quote unquote good enough to win the title at the end. Like you can win it, like Milan won it with a bad team. You know, you can still do it,
Yes,
but if you don't win it against this Inter side, I don't think everybody was like, "You failed with this side." You know, I don't think
that's
that's.
right.
But nobody was expecting us to win. So everybody was saying we want a change. It's not really
At all.
basing it on winning the title. I'm actually basing the Coppa Italia maybe, but like I'm basing it on 3 years. I see the same issues. I don't see an improvement. I see the same things over and over again, the same struggles, the same good patches, the same bad moments, and also at the same time during the season when we collapse and I'm like, okay, after 3 years, winning, okay, but there's no improvement, there's no base, or there's no platform to say he built
Yes,
this. Yeah,
we haven't seen. Yeah, I believe that we haven't seen any sort of progress in this team, and as you were saying, the same struggles. I mean, same struggles. day after day, uh, year after year. So what's the whole point of having expensive, uh, such an expensive person leading the group? Because if he is not, I wouldn't say willing to, but I would say if he's not capable to make improvements, you call it probably improvements individually or uh, when it comes to the whole team with the whole group, what's the whole point? I mean, how many years, how many years we're gonna keep saying that he doesn't have uh, offensive midfielders? I mean, it's just the same story. I mean, and I remember, I remember that he took a lot of credit on the first time that he was at Juventus for uh, converting. I don't know if that's the
Yeah, yeah,
right
yeah.
converting Mandzukic to a new role in that team, and he took a lot of credit for that. So I believe that. I mean, he's not doing that anymore. So I don't know if he took the credit in the correct way or it was just a matter of Mandzukic. But the what I can the conclusion that I take right now that I find right now is that he is not simply not he's not when I see the team playing every single weekend, I cannot figure out that we are working Monday through Friday to improve this team.
I agree. Like the Mandzukic thing and credit, I agree because when we talk about maybe you should change formation, like even with Yildiz doing well, refusing to play all three of them, all those things, it's like, um, oh, we don't have a left back, or we don't have a right back, or we don't have one player for a position. I'm like, okay, I get that, but you cannot base like let's say we did had the right back or the left back to play in a back four, whatever you want to call it, and he gets injured mid-season. Are you gonna go and switch it up completely? No, you just stick another guy in there and you make sure he does the best capable of job. Look at Liverpool. Like they
Yes.
play with kids and they look just fine. They played it with kids again against Southampton, second in the championship or third in the championship. They beat them. Kids never play for the first team, but the mindset is all the same. So I cannot take, we don't have one position, so that means we cannot play another, or like we cannot switch it up. I have a question from somebody. He's saying question for both. Do you think changing the coach but keeping the same players would Juve do better? I will go quickly and then you can go, Guillermo.
Okay.
We need new players. If Allegri stays or he doesn't stay, we need, like everybody agrees on that. We need help. We get that. That's not like it's not that you bring in Thiago Motta or you bring in Conte or just name all the names that we don't need any players. If Allegri stays, we need improvement. If Allegri leaves, we still need improvement. However, 3 years he had different squads, but the main issues or the main struggles or the main whatever are always there. If he had Di Maria or Paredes, or he had Dybala, or he had Morata, or he had Chiellini and Bonucci, since he came back, the same problems are there. No matter what how the squad was built, which players, the issues were there. So yes, we need new help, but no, if Thiago Motta comes in, we're still not gonna win with this team. Like the team needs improvement. However, we will get top four, but it will be more enjoyable. And if we are not winning, at least I want to be entertained. Like I want to compete. If we're not winning, I want to be up there, but it needs to be good. Now we're not competing, and actually, we all watch every game. But is anyone looking forward to watching the game? It's like you watch it, it's the end, and you're like, okay, I done my part. I watched the game. I'm cool. That's how it feels after 3 years, and that's not good. But do you think, let's say Thiago Motta comes in with this squad, what do you think the difference will be, or are you like, there's not going to be much of a difference?
Whoever comes in, And I'm first of all, I agree with you that we need reinforcement. We need players with different attitude and technical skills than what we currently have. That's a fact. That I mean, I understand that and I agree with that. However, what I believe Juventini around the world, what we are expecting is progress, not necessarily winning titles, but progress, which is something that we are lacking. And if you have the same staff working over 3 years, at least progress, I mean, is expected. So to answer the question, yes, we would do better. We would do better with another person, with another trainer. Uh, and it's not that we are expecting to win the Champions League or to get back on track in the Serie A, but progress is what we are all demanding from the best team in Italy.
Yeah, that's actually a progress. That's a key word, and I don't see that. Final question before I bring the next one up. Tomorrow we play Napoli. What do you make like preview quick? Like, what do you expect? What do you think is gonna happen? And what do you think? Uh, like, what do you think we need in that game to win it? Basically.
Well, first of all, I would like to see, to be honest with you, Nico Lucy playing. I believe that the midfield should be Nico Lucy trying to play this regista role, and then Locatelli as a mezzala and um, Alcaraz. Alcaraz, yeah, I believe he should start from the very beginning. Um, I don't think Kostic should be taken into consideration anymore. At least, uh, I believe Ealing Jr., despite uh, his defending skills, he should start, and Cambiaso on the other side at the right. I believe with that, we might get a very good surprise, a very positive surprise um, if we do it that way. But knowing Allegri, more than likely, probably yes, we're going to see Miretti or even Danilo. I don't know, but that's going to be a key. Which players is going to hit? Is going Allegri to form into the midfield? And and I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know if Chiesa is going to be available. And but if he is, I would like to see him despite his recent um,
Sure.
recent performance.
Yeah. I think I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna surprise us. I think I recorded my video, my preview for tomorrow. But I think he's gonna do something that we will all be sitting there like really, and I think it's gonna involve Cambiaso. But Guillermo, thanks for calling in. Um,
Thank you.
my apologies for not recognizing you because I knew I was like I saw your face. I was like I
No,
know him
it's
from.
okay.
I was confused because I watched certain show. I put the subtitles in because I cannot speak Spanish, so I put some subtitles on. But I usually like I have it on at times on the background, and then I look at the. But you're doing great jobs, like fantastic job with the YouTube channel, and also keep that up. But it was nice having you on. Nice talking to you.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you very much for the job that you do because you're always giving your opinion based on facts and not necessarily on feelings, and that's something that it's very required nowadays. So thank you very much, and it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. See ya. Okay. Next one up is Bashar. If you can you hear me? Okay, let me bring you in really quickly. The next one up, who's waiting in the background, I will bring you on afterwards. But I will ask your name soon. You saw the quote I think I put on from Allegri's agent. I think talking about if the club is not happy, why wouldn't they be happy? Let us know why. Like I'm very I don't know very I don't know. It felt like okay, come outside and tell the world, why. Why will you sack Allegri? What do you make of that mid-season? Because I think the timing of it is very strange. Like just randomly on the eve of a Napoli game, and also radio DJ. That's not normally where you drop these kind of quotes. So what do you make of that?
Well, to be honest, I think it's part of the Allegri propaganda that he likes to practice. Uh, you remember when he's not satisfied with something, he used to let his friend go to the press. I don't remember the name of his
Gaglione.
friend.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So I think it's just a play. It's just a move that he's trying to make in order to get his contract extended or anything. I don't think it's anything more. I mean, I cannot see it as anything more. It's just mockery.
I thought the timing was very strange and also the wording. I was like, very weird, because it made more sense if everybody was pro Allegri and the club was trying to push him out. Then it made more sense to say, hey, why would you want to sack him? Then the fans will all get behind it. And it's like, yeah, club, Juve, Giuntoli, whatever, tell us why. But it feels like the flip side. I'm like, not sure that's the strategy you need to take now. And then in the presser, Allegri said, I have 1 year. He said, if the club wants to tell me something, they will tell me that. And again, we know, like it's from good
Mm.
sources, we know the club has already talked with other coaches. So we kind of know, like it doesn't mean he's going to get sacked, but we know the club is not 100% satisfied. Otherwise, you don't talk with coaches. And actually, otherwise, by this point, we already knew he's going to just stay. He's going to stay. No? Or like, am I being too, quote unquote, optimistic?
Well, I think considering his status right now, with 1 year left on his contract, I don't really see him staying unless he gets his contract extended. I mean, I don't really see him staying like for just the last year on his contract. That's why he's trying these moves, and exactly because, like you said, the club has been in talks with other managers. Uh, I think he's just trying to understand more like what's the board's opinion, what's the board's decision on him staying or not.
Coaching wise, because he's getting the best out of it, and I don't know, like only I think I have a feeling only at this club and this fan base, a coach
Mm.
doesn't matter. I don't know if you watch Roma. I don't know if you watch Roma under Mourinho or under De Rossi. I can tell
Uh,
you, coaching, well, it matters. Like, it does matter. Like it
True.
really does. I don't know if I'm not gonna say De Rossi because when you bring that up, you know what response you can get. Oh, what has he won? Is he gonna win 5 titles? I've not said that. I don't know. Like I cannot look into the future. Nobody knew Allegri was gonna win five. When he won with Milan and then had a complete off season. Nobody knew that. Like you cannot look into the future. Nobody knows if Pioli is gonna win more. Like nobody knows. Nobody knows if Inzaghi is gonna win more. Everybody assumes, but we don't know. What I do know is that Mourinho had that team look like a mid-table team. De Rossi has that
No.
team looking like a top four team. That's just the difference. So when we talk about coaching, it's always but the players is a player that okay, were all those players crap under Mourinho and now they're good? Like, isn't that coaching? Putting players in the best positions? So
Oh,
that's my biggest issue. Like when formation wise again, we cannot play Yildiz because we don't have a left back or a right back, and we need to. I'm like, that's one position. Like we are acting like we don't have five positions because like or Bremer cannot play in a back four. I don't know. I've not seen it. Like, did we see like for a consistent period of time that Bremer cannot play in a back four? I've not seen it. I remember when we had
No,
Bonucci, Chiellini, and Barzali, and there was talks about switching, and we play with back fours in the past, and everybody was like, "Man, Barzali cannot do that," and you know what? He did it. He did it. He did it. So
despite, despite him being like very old at
yeah,
that time.
on top of that,
No,
so we don't know, and also coaching, it does matter, especially for certain players.
sure.
Guillermo said, Mandzukic. When we signed Mandzukic, did anyone thought he could play that position? Nobody
Of
thought
course
that,
not.
and we credit Allegri big time. His goal production obviously took a big hit, but it worked, and we gave
Mm,
Allegri credit, and he deserved credit. So did Mandzukic, by the way. But now
mm,
we're refusing to
of
do
course.
that. We're refusing to do that,
Yeah,
and we think it's normal that other players are being played out of position when they come on. That's my biggest issue. 3 years into the job, that's my issue.
I can elaborate on that. Uh, if a new coach comes, I'm not expecting him to just like flip the switch and like have good results and win everything and just start winning titles. And I just want to see improved ideas on the field. I just want to see improved mentality. Like you said with the De Rossi and Mourinho situation, I actually watch a lot of Roma games. Um, you exactly, you said it exactly. Uh, they were looking like a very mediocre team under Mourinho, and they're like playing so much better right now under De Rossi. And the reason is not exactly that De Rossi is a better coach than Mourinho. I mean, you cannot even compare the two. De Rossi is just like he just started coaching. He's just
Yeah,
started his career. Yeah, but I mean, the mentality on the field improved. The players improved. You can see exactly that the players were not satisfied with Mourinho, and that's like a really important component in the team. The players need to be satisfied also with the coach. I'm not saying that you only need to do what the players want. I mean, we're no, not like that, but the the relationship between the coach and the players should be like good. In I I don't see any player right now at Juve, any decent player, being satisfied with Allegri, besides from his spoiled kids like Rayo and McKinney and about changing formations. Uh, it's just like a really petty excuse that we don't when we say like we don't have like a right back, we don't have a left back. When he wants it, he changes positions of players. He puts players in other positions, and we've seen it many times, like McKennie on the right. And I mean, when he wants it, when he thinks it, he's willing to put players in other positions. But he's just like really stubborn, being really stubborn these days. He just wants to lay back, not do anything, and just expect like one player to do something brilliant and win 1-0. And I mean that doesn't work every time. I mean,
no,
that cannot even work with any quality of players. Uh, when the team is down like 1-0 or 2-0, I want to see a team that has ideas of how to come back, not like just tell the players, yeah, go do whatever you want. That's not the right way of coaching. The coach matters. And if the coach doesn't matter, why is he taking like 9 million euros salary and other coaches like they take 1/9 of that? I
yeah,
mean, it's
that's it.
really insane.
Like, obviously, coaching, it does matter. Like, it does. Like, it's only at this year that coaching is being put up to question. And thanks, Polo, for the next word, nice words. Excuse me. Um, Onaldi Fun has a few things to say. First, said Guardiola played Mandzukic on the wing and he didn't like it. That's my point. Like, we gave Allegri credit because he convinced Mandzukic to do that, and Mandzukic did it very well. That was
I'm
exact.
actually
That's exactly my point. That we can do, like, he done that in the past, but he's not doing that now. And also, he said Allegri never wanted Giuntoli at Juve. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, he told that he felt trusted by Agnelli. I believe that was a shot towards obvious, like it's only normal that Juntili comes in and he's like, I want to do it my way. I want to do it my way. Like it only makes sense for Juntili to say, you know what? If I'm gonna rebuild this Juve, it needs to be my way. And if we fail, it's because of me, you know. And it's not because I'm not gonna fail because I was tied to something I didn't pick. That like it's only normal. Like Manu have new, not new owners, but like they have new big shareholder, whatever you want to call it. It makes only sense for that person to say, Ten Hag, I didn't choose Ten Hag. I'm gonna do it now my way. And if we fail, it's because of me. And if we succeed, it's because of me. Like usually when a new owner and anything comes in, they just clear the boat, clear the deck, and they're like, it's my way. Like, we're gonna do it. I have an idea. So it only makes sense for Juntili to be very skeptical and say, no, like this is not gonna be the way we should operate or move forward. But he has a 1 year deal. That's only like stumbling. Like if he has no, yeah, if he had no contract, I think by now we would already know what the gist was. But we play Napoli tomorrow. Before I bring the next caller in, I, I don't know. Like, are you? Allegri said in his presser, we are entering the most beautiful period of the season. Are you hyped? Like, are you looking forward to the next? I don't know. Was it 3 months? I think April, March, like four months or so. Like, are you hyped? Are you? Do you think this is a beautiful period for us?
I cannot tell if this is a question or a joke.
No, you said it. So it's like, are you? Do you think it's a beautiful period for us?
I mean, lately it's been like doing chores, watching Juve games. I mean, I feel like it's like my chore. I have to do it. I mean, I'm a diehard fan. I need to know what's I need to watch every game. I need to know what's happening with the club and everything. That's why I watch the games. I mean, I don't have any other reasons. I don't even care if we finished fourth, like 1 point behind, 1 point over fifth position, or 1 point before Inter. I mean, I think it's just the same for me. I've lost hope of winning the title. So, I mean, and I've lost hope in Allegri, like introducing new ideas. I mean, even with the even with the Alcaraz case. I mean, normally you would want to see what he has to offer, but I mean, I'm not really hyped because I don't really think they're going to buy him for 50 million euros,
No.
and I don't think an English club is going to budge on that. I mean, we cannot negotiate like a 30 million euros deal with them. I mean, even that I'm not excited about. I'm not excited about anything.
Do you think we're gonna win? At least that.
Well, Napoli has been like playing really terribly until last match against Sassuolo. They like restored a little bit of strength. I mean, they won 6-1. It's I know Sassuolo are horrible, but 6-1 is still like a big result. I don't know if they're like really back on it, and I mean, I cannot even predict it. We may win if they were terrible. Other than that, I mean,
We haven't won
I
there
don't
for
really.
5 years, so
I know, I know, I know. It's been like a really long time, but like now, they're they're right now the worst they've been in 5 years.
I
I
I
think so.
I agree with that. You know, I do agree with that because Allegri said post no pre um, pre the presser. He said something that kind of triggered me because I recorded a video. It's not out, and while I was reading it, and I watched it, so I know what he said. But he said like, Napoli don't deserve the standing where they are. I'm like, they do. Like it's a third coach, and it's March. They absolutely do deserve where they are. Like he said it. I think he said it at least 10. He said that about Udinese. They won one game in 24. It was against us. They deserve where they are. Like it's 20 match day 26. Like match day 26, where you are, you deserve that. But there's no luck, bad luck. Like if you can say that after match day 10, I can deal with it. Match day 26, If you're sitting 10th, you deserve to be 10th. Like it's as simple as that. But we will see what would happen tomorrow. Thanks for calling in, Bashar. I'm gonna bring in the next one.
Thank you for having me.
Nice talking to you, and see you in the next one, I guess.
Um,
Ciao.
yeah, sure. Bye.
Hello, Anas. Can you hear me? Okay. Now they can hear you. I brought you in, so everybody can hear you now. Um, I don't know if
Okay.
you read the quotes I had early on on the screen from
Yeah,
Allegri's
I did,
agent.
but I've read them before,
Oh,
the
you read? Okay,
stream. Yes.
even better, even better. Um, what do you think about? Not really about the words, more of the timing of it.
It's very convenient. Like Bashar said that usually Allegri brings his friends to defend him in like desperate times. But the thing is with his friends, I mean not his friend, his agent, is that I think the club aren't 100% on board with Allegri. I think they still, I mean, they still doubt him in a way. Like, we don't see this going very well for us, like, or whatever goals we try to achieve, which is winning the league, but at least improvement in the club. And well, we don't see that, but I think maybe the club would view that they don't see any progress too, but they're still hesitant on letting Allegri go. Like, the fee and everything, and also with Allegri, like also today, like what he said is basically you need to pay me or do
Yeah,
something about it so you can, well, kick me out or leave on agreed terms or anything. So yeah, like it's pretty convenient, and at least we can see that the club is not 100% sure about it. Not like every single media outlet that says that maybe Allegri is staying, which is, I believe that he will stay, but hopefully the club will prove me wrong.
they like. I think what changed, and I think that's why his agent spoke, is that until like last summer, it was a very weird time. With everything happening off the pitch, new board, or like it was like, and who was gonna sack Allegri at that point? Like there was nobody to sack Allegri. John Alcon was not gonna do it. So that's why they just were quiet. But now things change because now Jundali is in control. I think I'm very convinced by the fact that Alcon told Jundali, "You fix this. You figure it out because I'm not that guy. You have presidents, Canavino and Ferrero. They're not those guys. Like they're just quote unquote nobodies in the world of football. You are the guy. You make that decision. I think he and his agent already like feel that it's not like last season or previous years. If something is up, Agnelli decides. The president decides. That's not there now. I don't think. I think that's why they're. That's why the title I said nervous because it's something different. They had never dealt with Juntili. Like, yeah, they said, what is it? Not even a year, but it's different, because Juntili came in and he's like, okay, Allegri's here. I need to work with it this season. I'm gonna be nice, and all that stuff. But now I think they feel like, okay, he's gonna make the decision, and he has absolutely no like how do you want to call it? Like a tie that goes back years, like Agnelli. Like he just came and Allegri was there. Maybe he never knew Allegri personally. Maybe he never spoke to Allegri before last summer. So there's no relationship that goes back years and years. All we want stuff, and I think that's why his agent put out those quotes as well. Basically saying, "Hey, you tell the world." Because I think they feel that, hey, Chuntli, and it's not Agnelli, and I know Agnelli. I can go to his house, have a coffee, and whatever. It's something completely different, which I think we all were asking. Like, even if you're not on board of letting Allegri go, I think everybody was on board in the summer to bring somebody in who had experience in football and was going to be resolute. So I think that's what he's gonna do. I think I've said it so many times. He's gonna like his future is tied to this decision now. This decision, Juntili is gonna make this summer is gonna ride his future. And he can say, "I'm gonna stick with Allegri, and we're gonna win stuff, and we are actually gonna win stuff." I will come on and say, "You know what? I was completely wrong." I just don't see that at this moment in time. But this summer for him is massive. It's absolutely gigantic, you know. So, but I thought it was just funny that his agent came out and he said that the way he said that. But uh, enough of that. I want to ask you two other things. First, the last question will probably uh, about Napoli, but one thing out of that Napoli game, Alcaraz is gonna start. Like he's gonna start because there's nobody else. Like we don't have any options. But Bashar said earlier, saying he cannot even be hyped about that because the way the season is going, and we're not gonna buy him for 50 million euros. But are you looking forward to see what he can offer from the start in a very hostile environment because we haven't won there for 5 years?
Yeah, for Alcaraz, like I'm not overhyped, but also like I believe that also like we're not gonna pay 50 million for him. But for the match against Napoli, well, I will hope to see more from him. Like he seems like a decent squad player for now, at least. But against Napoli, it's gonna be quite of a bit of a task. I mean, they're not performing the best at the moment. They're
No.
not performing better. Well, we're gonna make them perform like they're gonna have the best match in their entire season against us tomorrow for the most part. But hopefully we will see more from him, and I think he's gonna have the best of games since it's not mostly on him. It's mostly on the way the game is gonna go. Like we know just Allegri trying to scrap a win and everything. That's why maybe it's not on mostly on the player, but mostly on how will Allegri will set up Alcaraz. But you never know. Maybe he's gonna play Cambiaso as a
That's what I think.
Mezzala or something. Maybe next to Alcaraz. I don't like Alcaraz, Locatelli, and Cambiaso. I don't know if Allegri will risk it,
I think
but
he's gonna risk it.
you think so?
I think I have a weird feeling. I recorded my preview. I have a weird feeling something. You will look at the lineup tomorrow. And you're like, huh? And it's gonna involve Cambiaso some way, somehow. Like, that's the feeling I have. That Cambiaso, like something involving Cambiaso, he will do tomorrow because I don't see him starting Nicolucci and moving Locatelli. I don't see that, and I also don't see him playing Nicolucci as a mezzala. I also don't see him playing Miretti and Alcaraz because defensively that doesn't scream Allegri like at all. So I don't see that. That's why I'm saying he's gonna do something involving Cambiaso. I don't know what it's gonna be. Is it gonna be as a mezzala? Is it gonna be behind the strikers? Because that we tried in training apparently, but it's gonna involve Cambiaso. People talk about Danilo. I don't think he's fit enough to start that game. And I'm gonna say it's a good thing because he would actually play him as a mezzala. He would have actually played Danilo as a mezzala, and with his feet at the Maradona Stadium, I think 5 minutes in, and everybody will be throwing stuff to the TV, because that's just a recipe for a complete like that's a recipe for with his feet, with Danilo's feet. No, like no. So it's actually a good thing that he's not quote unquote fit because he would have actually played in midfield. But on the game itself, we haven't won there for 5 years. The teams underneath us are winning. Roma, Bologna, Milan. Okay, Lazio, but they're kind of completely out of it now. I don't know who Bologna played this weekend, but we are going to play all these teams in the next couple of 3 months. So on the game itself, what do you think? Like, do we have a shot? Which is crazy because they're sitting, I don't know, ninth and we are second, but we're asking, do we have a shot?
Yeah, we absolutely do have a shot. Like, it's not that big of a shot, but mostly because Napoli aren't performing well this season. Like you said, they're sitting ninth or 10th at the moment, and we should be able to beat them. Like, I've watched a couple of Napoli games this season. They're horrendous. Like, I don't know how they drew against Barcelona. Like, that's out of. I don't know how they drew against them. Like, they were very bad. But also, Barcelona were bad. But overall, like we should be able to beat them. But funny enough, they scored six against us all.
Yeah.
Like they performed well in the worst time for us. Uh, but we should be able to beat them. I'm not that confident since it's been since, like you said, 5 years since we
Five
won
years,
there.
yeah. Five.
It was it the Pjanic
I think it was a Khedira
one.
Pjanic. No, the Khedira one was
Emre
before it.
Chan,
Emre Can.
the Emre
Not.
Chan. Yeah,
I think it was at,
since
which
that
is
game.
crazy. It's crazy if you think about it.
Yeah, it is very crazy, but yeah, like I don't know. I don't want to predict. I don't think we're gonna win the game. I think we're gonna draw the game. Like we're gonna draw it. Like
We need to win
we're gonna
because
find a way to draw it. We
I
do
thought
need to win, yes, but we're gonna draw the game. Like that's what I think.
Atalanta play Bologna at 6 o'clock. If Atalanta win that game, if Atalanta should win that game, or like if they win that game, they go to 49. That means they're 8 points behind us. Like we need to, like 8 points is a disaster. Like 8 points is not safe for this Juve side, and the way we were playing lately, it's not safe. It's not safe. If you look at the plays, like we need to play Atalanta, Milan, Fiorentina, Lazio, Roma, Torino, Bologna. We play all those teams still. Like we're gonna play all those teams, and if we cannot beat this Lazio, this Napoli side, then I struggle to see how we're gonna beat Milan, Roma, Bologna, Atalanta. Like it's gonna get worse. Like it's not gonna get easier. Like it's absolutely not gonna. Like we had the easy run and we messed it up. Like if we just won against Udinese, won one game in 24 and it was against us. If we won against Verona or Empoli, that's what was it? I said 7 in my preview. That's a lie. That's how many points more? That's 3 against Bologna, I think. No wait,
From wait, was the difference between us and
7.
Bologna?
That would have been 7 points more, I think. Uh,
Yeah, I think
7 points, like that will be done. Even if you lose tomorrow, like and what did I say was gonna be 8? Plus, like it would have been 15 points. You're just gonna stroll to top 4, no matter how bad you play. But if Atalanta win tomorrow and we do not win and we lose, 8 points, like even 9 points, I don't trust this team. Like I'm not gonna say like we shouldn't be scared, quote unquote, because hey, you deal with it. You know that's your issue. But 8 points, it's not safe. If you look at the games that are coming up, like we have Atalanta at home next week, then you have Genoa at home, then you play Lazio in the league away. Forget the Coppa Italia for now. Then you have Fiorentina at home, Torino away, Cagliari away, Milan at home, Roma away, Sanitana, Bologna, and Mons. Like it's not gonna get easier. It's just not gonna get easier. So it's a big one tomorrow. But what's your prediction before we wrap it up?
like I said, it's mostly gonna be a draw. Like I can see them also winning. Like they're that bad to win the game, unless if Osimhen is on his A game or Kvaratskhelia, which he's been like a half a season wonder. Like he
Oh,
still
you
has the
jinxed it.
quality, but
You jinxed it.
yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like unless they are in their A game, which last time we went there wasn't the best of days for us.
No,
Uh,
it was a
been
disaster.
hammered, so
Wasn't.
uh, uh, I mean, hopefully if we lose, at least we don't lose that big of a score. But
If you
yeah, I
lose
think we're
like
gonna
that,
draw the game basically.
okay.
It's gonna be like a 1-1 or 2-2.
I think it's gonna be a very open game tomorrow. I think. I don't think
Yeah, that's why I
both
said
teams are
it's a draw.
defensively good enough. I don't think they're defensively good enough. I think neither of the team are very good defensively. They're very open
Oh,
lately.
100%. Yeah.
So that's why I think it's going to be an open game. But we will see tomorrow. Thanks for calling in, Anas. Pleasure talking to you again.
Where is it, man?
And
Bye.
ciao. But yeah, guys, that's it. I do have a preview that's going to be dropping tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And then post game, hopefully I can come on with, I don't know, a good vibe, you know, even the period of the season. But like if we lose tomorrow, the pressure will build and this team cannot withstand pressure. I think they shown that, and like I said, it's gonna get worse. You know, if we lose tomorrow, and Atalanta should win that game. I think the pressure will be, it will build up because 8 points is, or 9 points, whatever, it's not enough for this team. So we need to win, but we will see tomorrow. We will see tomorrow. Thanks everyone for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit that bell notification, and like I said, till the next one.